Marc Switko died a horrible death. He thought he would live to a ripe old age, sitting on a mountaintop imparting wisdom to those in need, a smile permanently plastered on his wrinkled brown face. He thought he'd die an exemplary death, showing the way to others, how we can make a choice of when and where we'd go. He thought he'd sit in meditation and have his spirit wander from the lock and key of body, from the physical form he'd mastered over years of deep inner work. He thought he'd leave behind a legacy of right living to anyone in search of a better way, a peaceful way. He thought he'd be remembered for his kindness, his humility, his ability to give freely and to allow others to be as they are, with complete and utter acceptance. Marc J. Switko, a man who never broke a promise, a man who worked diligently on bringing the bitterness of human life to a higher spiritual plane, transcendent, beyond suffering. A man who taught others by example to search out their own destiny through the pain of life, the only way to ultimately recognize what is truly beautiful. A man who knew deep within that compassion for others is the way to freedom in life, that those deemed evil act out of their own necessity, and that all people are at the core pure and good. Marc J. Switko. He thought that one day he would see these life lessons actualized, that society would one day gain enlightenment, would see the folly of its fear-based, mistrustful laws, that one day there would be world peace, that hunger and extreme poverty would be abolished, that death would no longer be something to run away from, to escape, but to accept as the only truth finalizing our material existence, allowing all beings to live their fullest potential with teachers and guides available at every corner. But this was not to be the case. Marc J. Switko died of summer bologna poisoning. The police report stated that Switko's neighbor, a man who had an affair with Switko's wife years earlier, held some sort of grudge and lived with the delusion that he was thwarted from the love of his life by Switko himself. It happened this way. The neighbor came up to Switko one day and offered him a piece of smoked venison summer bologna. Switko thought it odd that a man he hadn't spoken to in 6 years would be making a peace offering. He accepted the offering, took it into his kitchen, and, knowing that all people are good, took a bite and died within an hour. Summer bologna poisoning was listed as the cause of death.
Into a mirror and the mirrors say I'm dead. I'm dead. Well, I lay down in the blankets of my cozy bed. I look up to the ceiling and the ceiling said I'm dead. I'm dead. I run around the block to pay a visit to my friends. I looked into the window, it was painted stone red. I'm dead. I'm dead. I tried to read a book fire. The book was by a man and his name was Wayne Dyer. I'm dead. I'm dead. Well, I was sitting on the floor looking at a burning candle. I realized nothing but the candle gonna ramble. I'm dead. I'm dead. Well, I drove into the distance and I dropped out of the race. I looked back at the track and then another took my place.